Football's dirty money secrets exposed. How Ronaldo, Messi, and Haaland hide millions from taxman. The tricks clubs don't want you to know. Stick around. The final 60 seconds reveal the shocking loophole that saved one player £12 million. You'll never look at football salaries the same way again. Footballers don't just earn salaries, they command empires. The story of how modern footballers get paid is not just a tale of wages and goals. It's a theater of power, negotiation, and an ever-expanding definition of worth. Take, for instance, Carlos Tevez during his time at Manchester City. In one pay period alone, Tevez reportedly earned over £720,000, a staggering amount that went far beyond mere compensation for athletic performance. But what that paycheck masked was the intricate machinery behind it. Deductions, performance-based clauses, and an entire substructure of incentives. Footballers are not just athletes. They are brands, businesses, and economic forces rolled into one. When Mohamed Salah found the back of the net for the 35th time in a single season, he wasn't just padding his legacy. He was cashing in on a £2.5 million bonus, according to reports. For Virgil van Dijk, it's not the number of goals, but the absence of them that brings reward. 22 clean sheets in a season could deliver £750,000 into his account. Performance bonuses are one thing, but then there's a quieter, more covert operation of loyalty bonuses, such as the €80 million payout to Kylian Mbappe simply for fulfilling the terms of his PSG contract. Loyalty in football can be as lucrative as brilliance. The anatomy of a footballer's wealth becomes even more fascinating when one explores image rights. Cristiano Ronaldo's journey through this space offers a masterclass. Originally a 50-50 split between player and club, Ronaldo reshaped the balance when Real Madrid granted him 60% control. Then came the moment he sold part of his image rights to Mint Media, headed by Singaporean mogul Peter Lim. What followed was an orchestrated push into Asia's booming market, commercials, merchandise, and viral fame. Shopee's now legendary Ronaldo ad is a relic of that deal, one that opened revenue streams that dwarfed even his playing salary. Erling Haaland represents the other extreme, total control. With his image rights completely under his own domain, Haaland operates like a mogul rather than an employee. All commercial deals funnel into personal companies, taxed not at the UK's 45% income rate, but under the more forgiving 19% corporate rate. The difference? Astronomical. If image rights were an empire, some players are emperors. Taxation laws across countries transform these dynamics even further. Italy's Decreto Cressida, introduced in 2019, made the country a haven for foreign players. The scheme slashed taxes for incoming stars, provided they hadn't lived in Italy for the past 2 years and promised to stay for at least 2 more. This is how Aaron Ramsey, once a peripheral figure at Juventus, still made bank. It's also part of why Cristiano Ronaldo's Juventus move made so much financial sense. On the decree, he saved millions in taxes, even as he raked in Italian league wages. Yet, it's in the Middle East where the tax-free dream truly blossoms. Emirati leagues offer footballers contracts unshackled by national taxation. Their income flows uninterrupted by government hands. But there's a catch, a legal one. For a UK-based player to benefit from these tax havens, they must stay out of the UK for a full tax year. For example, if a player left for Saudi Arabia in July 2025, they wouldn't just need to stay abroad until July 2026, but until April 2027, due to the UK's April-to-April tax calendar. This stipulation likely shaped Jordan Henderson's post-Liverpool journey, though his Saudi stint lasted mere months. To retain tax benefits, he couldn't immediately return to England. Instead, he pivoted to Ajax, a club outside the Premier League, allowing him to stay financially compliant while remaining competitive. These fiscal maneuvers are complemented by some of the most bizarre contract clauses ever written. Neymar, in his Barcelona days, reportedly insisted on a clause that allowed 8 of his closest friends to visit and party with him in Spain. Funded by the club, Ronaldinho, always a showman, is said to have had a clause in his Flamengo contract allowing him to party twice a week, regardless of the team's match schedule. These demands may sound like urban myths, but they underscore the unique leverage some players possess. Troy Deeney once laid bare the perks he squeezed out of Watford during contract negotiations. His list of requests included the removal of speed bumps in the club's car park, so he could glide through in his sports car, as well as a second executive box for his entourage, and reserved director-level parking spots. This wasn't at Barcelona or PSG. It was Watford. If that's what a mid-table striker could command, imagine the negotiations when Lionel Messi signs on the dotted line. Speaking of Messi, his time at Inter Miami marks one of the most sophisticated forms of player remuneration in football history. Rather than just offering a bloated salary, MLS presented Messi with a revenue-sharing model. He earns a percentage of revenue from Apple TV subscriptions linked to his appearances, shares in club ownership, and profits from Adidas merchandise sales tied to his brand. It's a model borrowed from the David Beckham blueprint. When Beckham joined LA Galaxy, he secured the future right to own a new MLS franchise for a mere $25 million. That team? Inter Miami. That valuation today? Over $1 billion. If Beckham owns even 15% of that, his retirement plan is not a pension. It's an empire. Football's financial evolution didn't happen overnight. The old-school notion of a wage-only player contract has been decimated by commercialization and global expansion. Nowadays, contracts are a labyrinth of clauses, benefits, and image-based incentives. Clubs now hire full-time lawyers, financial analysts, and brand consultants just to shape offers that not only appeal to the athlete, but also optimize tax and branding potential. When Jude Bellingham sits at the negotiating table, he's not just a footballer. He's a corporation, an advertising target, a social influencer, and a marketable symbol of youth and excellence. His real value isn't just the goals he scores, it's the brands he moves. Even national policies are contorted by football's economic gravity. Governments now legislate to attract players, not just for league strength, but for economic stimulation. A high-earning footballer brings not just goals, but taxes, tourism, merchandise sales, and international interest. Italy's growth decree was less about football and more about rejuvenating national income through imported stardom. Then there's the matter of where the money actually lands. Some players, like Carlos Tevez, receive payments as standard salaries, documented in payslips, subjected to income tax, deductions, and the like. Others receive payments through holding companies, family-run businesses, or trusts. A £5 million brand deal might go straight to a corporate entity owned by the player, which pays significantly less tax. In the UK, corporate tax sits at 19%, and while that's still a decent chunk, it's nothing compared to the 45% income tax slab footballers like Marcus Rashford face. That 26% margin is often the difference between owning a private jet or leasing it. Some clubs have learned to weaponize these mechanisms. Real Madrid's half-image rights rule is not just a means of revenue. It's a strategy. When Florentino Perez tells incoming players they must forfeit 50% of their image rights, it's a calculated play. His message is simple. Play for real, and your image will explode. You'll earn so much more commercially that our 50% will still leave you with more than you could ever make elsewhere. This aligns with the club's Galactico philosophy, not just buying stars, but manufacturing them. Meanwhile, Premier League clubs tend to leave image rights untouched. The English system leans toward allowing players full control over their likeness and commercial revenue. That autonomy allows someone like Jack Grealish to become a fashion icon, a brand ambassador, and a meme-worthy internet figure, all under his own terms. It's part why young English players have become global phenomena, off the pitch as much as on it. The truth is that football today is a swirling ecosystem of commerce, law, and spectacle. The same industry that once paid its stars in cash envelopes now sees deals being negotiated with Silicon Valley financiers and offshore consultants. A simple contract is now a dossier of clauses, projections, exit strategies, and equity discussions. And it's not slowing down. As clubs become more like conglomerates and players more like CEOs, we are inching toward a world where footballers will earn more from commercial partnerships, equity holdings, and licensing deals than they ever will from matchday wages. One can imagine a future where a 19-year-old sensation at Borussia Dortmund signs a 5-year contract, not with Adidas, but with Amazon Studios, in exchange for exclusive documentary rights and back-end royalties on streaming revenue. So the next time a commentator gasps at a footballer's 300,000-pound weekly wage, know that it's merely the tip of a very gilded iceberg. Behind a headline figure lies a world of bonuses, brand equity, tax havens, loyalty clauses, image rights, and ownership stakes. This is not just about playing football. This is about monetizing gravity. Because in today's game, how footballers get paid isn't just a question of salary. It's the ultimate lesson in how to own your name, your image, and your future. Did you ever imagine footballers were getting paid like this? What surprised you the most? The tax hacks, the loyalty bonuses, or the image rights power moves? Which player do you think is the smartest business mind in the game today? Let's talk in the comments. And if you want more untold truths about how the game really works, subscribe and never miss what's hiding behind the scoreboard.